Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22. It's time for another Season 9 2009 game mode. This time around we're going to be using Jorge Lorenzo here in Sepang for the Malaysian GP. So we've got quite a few laps to do here today in this particular objective, and also got a small confession. I actually had to reduce the difficulty for the second time in these Season 9 challenges, and it's all because there is quite an unrealistic expectation when you're trying to do it on 120% difficulty AI. For one of the objectives, you have to reach the 8th position before the end of the first lap of this challenge. Now bear in mind, when we started this challenge we were roughly around 3 seconds behind Mika Kallio, let alone being how many seconds behind the rider in 8th position, so very unrealistic expectations to get past Valentino Rossi there in 8th. So I have reduced the difficulty, and I'm not particularly fond of it because it means that the rest of the race is going to be probably pretty easy, but to complete this challenge I did need to reduce the difficulty, and only now just being able to reduce the gap down to Melandri and getting through Melandri of course, and now of course Valentino Rossi ahead of us. So with 7/10 of a second of a gap to Rossi we should be able to make the move stick very soon, but there isn't really that many great overtaking opportunities in this sector of the circuit. But nonetheless we are closing in on Valentino, and just a bit of contact there into turn 12 we do get on through on the Doctor and eventual world champion, but we are now in 8th position with a 6-second gap to Casey Stoner, who's leading the way. So we could now just focus primarily on just trying to improve our lap times and maybe even catch Casey Stoner in the lead. So going around the outside, Nicky Hayden and firm on the brakes on their outside, going into the left-hander for turn 15, a bit messy there upon the exit, or upon the entry should I say, and now on the exit we do hold the line for now, and we do hold on to 6th position. So the wet weather racing, of course, I do have a guide for this coming out very soon, so definitely stay tuned, but the wet weather racing can be really difficult for these bikes because throughout the entirety of the season I think there's been only one other time where you actually use a wet weather setting or wet weather situation, and it does feel different, it really does. It's a night and day feeling with the motorcycles, especially when it comes to the power. Do you have power setting 3? Do you still use power setting 2 and just use it sparingly, maybe 3? Not entirely sure, but for me I'm just running power setting 3 for now, and I'm just going to see what lap times we can produce, as Randy Depunier has just gone down into the right hander there. He's dropped out of the points completely now on the left hand side of your screen. There is Andrea Dovizioso, bound to retire on Sunday in Mazzano of course, as we now slip on through for the inside of Dovi, and we have retaken a 3rd position. So actually this could be very easily done now. Pedrosa ahead of us, not by much, and I'm guessing Casey Stoner's going to be taken pretty quickly as well. So this one's going to be a battle of just focusing on the lap times and improving the lap times, and hopefully we can do better than I did with Valentino Rossi last time out, when I ended up crashing even after getting the objectives and even looking like we were going to win the race or possibly get close enough for a battle with the leaders. We're into turn 11 now, the somewhat tight and innocuous turn 11. We do manage to tackle it, and now into turn 12. Very difficult corner to get right, because you don't really want to be running across the rumble strip there, and you certainly don't want to be going wide. So bear that in mind if you do try and tackle turn 11 and then going into turn 12. But now into turn 14, Stoner is going very slow, so we're going to have to try and move our way through at some point. I think going on the brakes for turn 15 could beckon a good opportunity for us, so here we go on the brakes. Jorge Lorenzo, firm as you like, now into the final corner for turn 15 to complete lap 3 in the lead. Excuse me, complete the 2nd lap should I say, to start the 3rd lap as we now get across the line. So the lap time we're looking at is a 2:08.877, not really particularly impressive. Of course we did a little bit better I think with Valentino Rossi. I would like to get into the 2:07s perhaps, so let's focus on improving that for now. But guys, as always, I hope you're enjoying the content so far. If you are, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing as well. And of course if you want to see more content just like this one, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below. I'm also keen to see who you want me to use in the Season 9 2009 sort of championship mode I plan on doing. So instead of the challenges we've been doing and part of the objectives in MotoGP 22, I would like to do a full championship with one of these riders from 2009. So if you think I should use a particular rider, let me know in the comment section down below and let me know why as well. We're now into turn 6. We are 3 seconds ahead of the 2007 World Champion Casey Stoner, and I think that lead is just going to grow massively. At this difficulty level, I think I can't remember what I dropped it down to actually now, but I had to drop it quite a bit just to complete that first challenge. And this is the second or third time I've had to do that now. One of the other times were in Mugello, where again the expectations were unrealistic, with the AI were just really fast. And truth be told, I'm not the best at Mugello. But yeah, I'm not particularly a fan of dropping down the difficulty. Usually I feel like I can manage just absolutely fine, but for some reason, this one was just not fair. It was just not right. But into turn 12 then, oh, a little bit too tight to the apex, just slipping on the rumble strip there. You've got to be really careful of those rumble strips in wet weather conditions, because they can be absolutely treacherous depending on the circuit. So we're doing alright for now. We'll just try to avoid them for the foreseeable future. But going into the back straight now, we're going to be close again actually with the previous lap time of a 2:08.877. I don't think we're going to better it, but we should get pretty close to it. So into turn 15 we'll go, bring it into the left hand side, slowly accelerate, not too aggressively of course, but I don't think we are going to improve this one. It should be still a relatively solid lap. It is. It's a 2:08.936 for the eventual 2010 and 12 and 15 MotoGP World Champion. But into turn 1 we go now. Keep it in nice and tight for the right hand side here, and then get the change of direction for the left hand side, keeping it in nice and tight. Probably could have gone a little bit tighter there, and maybe a little bit firmer on the brakes, but confidence is a massive thing for bike games, and confidence is a massive thing, or even massiver, if that's a word, for the wet weather racing. You've got to be really strong, really brave, and very confident in the wet. Now, the wet conditions, probably in MotoGP 22, feel the best. They feel actually like this is going to be tough, this is going to be challenging, and I really appreciate that about the 22nd instalment in MotoGP. I do really like a difficult wet weather situation. It's meant to feel difficult, it's meant to feel challenging, and it certainly does in MotoGP 22. So into turn 7 now, we're going to go for that wider apex. I did mention about getting careful with the... Oh, no. I just mentioned not 10 corners ago we need to avoid the rumble strips, and we didn't. We're going to lose 8 seconds on this particular lap. We're still 1.2 seconds quicker than Casey Stoner at this point of the race, but I'm disappointed that 2 races here in Malaysia have ended in a crash, or at least had a crash involved in it, and the challenge will continue. Now, I was fortunate enough last time with Rossi to still complete the objective even after crashing, but this time around I will definitely complete it, because of course the AI, the difficulty has been dropped, and the AI aren't very competitive when it's like that. But into turn 14 now with an 8-second disadvantage compared to the previous lap. That is a massive blunder, and what was going to be some consistent lap times, I would say. Yeah, I would hopefully believe that we were going to be more consistent again, and that has completely gone out the window on lap 4 of 21 here in Malaysia. So let's wipe the slate clean then, ladies and gentlemen. Coming out of turn 15, we are 8 seconds down to our previous lap time, and that is not going to cut it for me. So let's improve on this time around. Let's get some good lap times going, and let's hopefully get down to the low 2:08, or even better, a high 2:07. So let's see what we can do anyway. Into turn 1. I'm going to change direction now for the left hand side. That is much tighter, much cleaner than I wanted, but on the exit, a little bit wide, just a little bit deep. It's not too much of a problem, but 0.2 of a second is not where we want to be. We want to be improving the lap time rather than just getting somewhere near it. So on the brakes we'll go then for the right hand side for turn 4. Nice and tight to the apex, beautifully done as we bring on the power. Change of direction incoming for the left hand side for turn 5. Going to keep it in and get it in tighter as this corner begins to come to a close. Change direction for turn 6 and keep it in nice and tight, avoiding the rumble strip. And we're going to try and avoid the rumble strip in this next bit, because it can be a bit treacherous there. Hard on the brakes will go, keep it in nice and tight. Ooh, almost too tight there, cutting across the white and red painted rumble strip. But we'll now bring on the power, go underneath the Bridgestone sign, and then begin to slam on the anchors. Bring it in nice and tight for the left hand side, one of the slowest corners in MotoGP for turn 9. We are going to improve this lap time. this is a great comeback. This is a good feeling now. We've got a good sensation after losing the front into the... in fact, we kind of lost the rear because the rear got caught on the rumble strip and it sort of threw us round into the previous corner. I think it's turn 7. It was where we met our demise. But now into turn 13, the right-hand side for number 99. Little bit too gentle there on the brakes, but I think bringing it in nice and tight like that is quite possibly an improvement. Yeah, half a second quicker is the Mallorcan at this stage of the Grand Prix. So let's see what happens. Into the final corner, we will go on the brakes. Now we go firm on the brakes, bringing it in to the left-hand side. Keep it in nice and tight. In first gear, so we do need to be careful upon the acceleration. Don't want to launch ourselves off into the final corner, but it's going to be a pretty stellar lap. 7/10 of a second quicker potentially across the line. It's a 2:08.164. The 2:07s do indeed beckon the number 99, so we'll certainly see what can happen. But on the penultimate lap now, ladies and gentlemen, 9.6 seconds clear from Casey Stoner. God knows how much it is ahead of Danny Pedrosa and where we need to be, or at least needed to be, at least in 4th position, which is occupied by Andrea Dovizioso. So into the right-hand side once again. I'm actually quite enjoying the feeling of the bike now and getting used to the wet weather conditions. Pay no attention to the AI, I'm just simply focusing on the lap times right now. And wide into the 4th corner. Okay, fair enough, that has happened, but we're still on a decent lap nonetheless. Oh, a small change of adjustments there, as I felt like I was going to go a little bit too tight to the apex and potentially cause another crash. So good job, I just quickly adjusted with the left analog stick there. But firm on the brakes we'll go. Do we go for that apex again? I'm kind of tentative of going anywhere near that rumble strip, and unfortunately we did manage to get caught on it once again, but surprisingly we're still pretty much neck and neck with the previous lap time, so this is quite impressive. But firm on the brakes we'll go, dropping anchor into turn 9, keep it in nice and tight. We are improving, or we were, as I was a bit tentative on the acceleration, just not quite got the confidence to fire it out when you're in the lower gears. Probably should have kept it in 2nd gear as a consideration there, but I'm quite happy with what we've got going as right now as we go to the left-hand side. Ooh, a small moment touching the apex there for Lorenzo. We were actually at that point 99,000th of a second slower than the previous lap time, but into the right, here it comes, the acceleration. No, we are going to lose a little bit of time, roughly around 1/10 of a second, possibly 2/10 of a second. It's certainly neck and neck with the delta at the top right-hand corner of the screen. But now braking in nice and firm for the final corner on the penultimate lap. Are we going to improve the lap time or not? Let's find out upon the acceleration. Doesn't look like it. No, unfortunately not. And a small wheelie there certainly doesn't help, but a good, consistent pace now is beginning to churn out. Ignore the 2:16.9 that we did when we crashed. Just focus on the good laps and, yeah, we'll be absolutely fine. So into the first sector, almost 2/10 of a second clear from the previous lap time. Keep it in nice and tight. Beautifully done this time around. We should certainly improve. We do breach the 2/10 of a second, now above 3/10, 4/10 of a second quicker in this particular sector. This is what we like to see. Firm on the brakes into the difficult corner where Randy Depunier went down just a couple of laps ago. Bringing on the power, avoiding the rumble strip. Still a 10th and a little bit. I'm rather enjoying this pushing in the wet weather conditions when it's completely unnecessary, of course. We really don't need to be pushing this much, but it makes good content, so why not? Keep on pushing. So bringing on the power onto the rumble strip. Oh, a little bit of a moment there. The vibration of the control went through the roof as we go to turn 7. As we now keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. Beautifully done. Didn't think getting across the rumble strip that tight would work, but it certainly did. As we'll brake just before the Bridgestone sign. Gradually bringing in the bike, turning it in, but we've gone wide. We've gone wide for turn 9. That could have jeopardised our chance of improving the lap time, but it's still very, very close. I do want the 2:07, I really do. And we're only 1.65 thousand of a second away, so this could be it. Just got to keep it all together now, and we've gone wide for turn 12. That is the opposite of keeping it together. That's the epitome of blowing it, as one would say. So now into turn 14, we do have actually a good drive there, but is it enough? I don't think it is. Turn 15 could bring us some fortune here if we brake really late, but I've not got that much confidence in turn 15 to brake as late as possible. But I tell you what, that's what you get for braking a little bit too late. We're Probably not going to improve it now. Bring on the power. We actually might improve, and it might be enough. But guys, that is going to conclude the end of today's video. A 208.150 is still a good lap nonetheless. But thanks for watching as always. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.